Good, yeah. So when you're doing this, make sure we're staying kind of as loose as possible back here, and then we're initiating, right? That torso rotation is gonna start it, and that arm's gonna then be pulled through by that pec and shoulder complex, and just kind of let it unfurl away from you, right? Because we've talked about in the past how you have a tendency to get a little bit out of plane, so just let it unfurl away. Nice. Nice, very solid. All right, so, yep, when you're doing this, we'll make sure we're about shoulder height with that elbow here, right? We want some tension kind of pulling down just a little bit in that scap. And as you set off that rotation with the arm and then the torso leading, we're just gonna lag that arm behind. Keep that upper arm just kind of as relaxed as you possibly can, right? And we're gonna take it pretty slow through here because we don't wanna kind of jerk into the front of that shoulder. We just wanna get a feel for this, all right? So take it relatively easy, there you go. Good, nice. Nice. All right, so when we're doing this ten-toe, right? So we're gonna take it from the previous static one, and now we're just gonna give it a counter move, trying to catch that kind of stretch on the pec, right? As the torso begins coming back, that arm's gonna get lagged behind. That's when we're gonna feel that stretch go, and it's gonna get reflexively pulled through. So we wanna keep it as relaxed as possible and kind of let that bounciness of the pec kind of do the work for you. Yeah, money, dude. All right, so same kind of deal where we're gonna try to catch that pec in. We're gonna get a slightly more specific kind of stance, and we're gonna try to kind of stay behind that front foot because we're gonna feel for the block as well, right? So rotating around that hip and staying behind that front foot will kind of be what leads to that stable front leg and that effective kind of feel for the block. All right, so we'll keep a little flex in that back knee as you're doing this, but then we're gonna kind of rock forward, rock back and rotate, feel a stretch on that pec, and then let it go, just like we did on the ten-toe. Nice, dude. Yep, very good. Good. So we're gonna go wall, hip, shoulder separation, and we're gonna kind of complex this with the next drill, right? So right here, we'll go against the wall. You're gonna start kind of in that squat a little bit, so knee will be kind of over that midfoot. Got that tripod foot connection, and back into that hip. All right, and we're gonna think about kind of turning that back knee down as much as possible while keeping those shoulders from moving away from the wall, right? So we'll get a feel for that kind of hip segmentation from the upper torso, then we'll take that into the next drill. Yeah, so try not to let that front leg track forward. That front leg's gonna stay right where it is. There we go, we're just rotating kind of around it. Good. So now we'll take that into these constrained rockers, right? So same basic position, and now we're just adding pelvic rotation to the other pieces that we've already done, right? So rock back, catch the pec, and then we're gonna rotate around that front hip, but a little bit more dynamically than we have thus far because we're gonna have that counter rotation of the hips and pelvis ahead of time. All right, so come on back, catch the pec. Yeah, nice, nice. Pretty solid sequencing too. Money, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. So now we're gonna take this where we're adding the linear momentum piece. So we're gonna try to get back into that hip. So we're gonna add a little bit of energy going back this way, sink into it. And then all of the other things we've done so far, right? In terms of catching the pec, in terms of that counter rotation, and then in terms of it being released into foot strike, we're adding that. But now there's the additional challenge of that linear momentum piece, right? So still stay behind that front leg, but primary goal for you is gonna be catching that pec and unleashing that into ball release, all right? Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that you can do is still, again, be a little bit more driven by that torso. Let that arm be a little bit more passive, lag it behind you a little bit more, right, as we're going into this. Don't force it with the arm because we want it to just kind of float into place. Catch that pec passively, and then bam, unleash it reflexively into ball release, right? Better, better. Could still be a little bit looser, but that was better. That was the best one. Nice, dude. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is try to kind of like link all these pieces together. And because this is like kind of our moderate intensity today, we're gonna do it for now with an overload plyo, right? So it's gonna keep that absolute velocity a little bit lower. That stress will be a little bit lower, right? We're also gonna restrict the velocity to some degree, all right? So what we're gonna do is kind of link all those pieces together. So all that drill work we've done for the most part, we're gonna go piece by piece by piece to pretty close to the full pattern. We're gonna do 1 or 2 sets today. We'll keep it at like an RP of about 7, and we'll go from there, all right? So let's see what it looks like. Good, yep. Let that glove arm, right, set off that torso rotation, just kind of pull that arm through as relaxed as possible until ball release. We add tension really late. Gas. Good. All right, so now we'll go kind of next piece. We'll add that pec catch to it, and then we'll get into it. That was pretty good. Same deal, let that torso drive it a little bit more and just keep that arm just a smidge more relaxed, but that was pretty good. Nice, nice, nice. Sweet. All right, let's add it from that split stance now. Pretty good. I think you could even go like a slightly smaller range when you're doing that rock back, so we don't have to go all the way from here because it becomes a lot to kind of sync up and stay relaxed through. So make it smaller, because when we go to those rockers, we're gonna make that a larger amplitude movement, but keep it a little bit smaller for this. Yep, nice. All right, sweet. So now we'll go to the rockers and kind of add that pelvic rotation piece. Nice. Nice. All right. So now we'll add that linear momentum piece, and I think if we're somewhere around like 68 to 70, that's probably like a good range for today. I don't want you to push it much beyond that. I know you could get above it, but I don't want you to push it much beyond that today. Nice. Yeah, that was easy. So see if you can just match that velo at a lower effort now. Good.